Hi, and welcome to the Finncast introduction video. Okay, in this video we're going to talk about Finncast. Basically it's laid out what it can do for you and why you might use it. We have more defined videos in our tutorial video section, which you can find in finncast.com on our website. So basically on the website, if you just go and look for tutorial videos, each section will be broken down with more defined and clear details and a better way for you to find what you need quickly. For example, there will be tutorial videos on how to use the video players, how to use the virtual sets, how to create a virtual set, how to use chroma keying, how to use downstreaming, and so forth. This video is specifically aimed at just basically what Finncast does, exactly what it does, and why you would use it. So we have two versions of it. The first version that we came out with is called Finncast Studio. And then we came out with a smaller version, which is called Finncast Solo. The studio version, they have similar features. They mainly have the same features, but in Finncast Studio, regarding virtual sets, there's 3 in total. And regarding camera inputs or video inputs, there's 4 in total. In the solo version, there's only 1. So it accommodates 1 video input and only 1 virtual studio, which are these guys up here. Okay. So I'm just going to go through, starting from left to right, the layout of Finncast. The principle will apply pretty much to this Finncast Solo, but I'm just now showing you and demonstrating in Finncast Studio. Okay, so starting from the top in the left hand side with video inputs 1 to 4, or if you like cameras 1 to 4. We say camera for convenience because most people use video inputs for cameras in Finncast. However, it's video input, so it's a video signal it receives, basically a video signal output from something: a camera, a DVR player, a computer monitor, a computer itself. Instead of your VGA lead going into your computer monitor, it goes into your video input card and it's displayed as a video input signal. So basically video inputs is really what it is. And then here we have video players, which are video players 1 and 2. There's 2 in total in Finncast Studio. Here we have virtual sets, and there's 3 in total. Here we have what we call box, which is a side by side of some sort of footage. It could be a camera, it could be a video player, it can be even an image. Moving over, keeping on the top of the left hand side, this is a preview screen, and next to it is a program screen. Program means footage that the end user sees, your program, your final view. What's being transmitted, what's being broadcasted, what's being streamed, what's being recorded. Basically the final footage. So why do we have a preview screen? Well, we have a preview screen because it allows for live production as well as post-production. So as a technical director, you will most likely want to see what's going to be put onto, or if you like, displayed on the program out. As an example, let me take the virtual set, the first virtual set 1 here. It's on the preview, and because it's on the preview screen, I can see what I'm going to put next onto the program out. So let's pretend there's something at the moment on the program out, and you can take it, you can auto take it, you can use the manual transition bar, or you can even override on the program buttons, which I'll speak about now. But for now, we're just going to take it. And I click the take button, and that's it. Simple, no delay, straightforward, from preview to program out. Let me take virtual set 2 onto preview. Again, I'm going to, this time I'll auto take. Maybe put it up onto horizontal blinds within 3 seconds. And I click auto take. So within 3 seconds it brings up the set 2, and again we can go on to set 3, and this time I'll use the transition bar, and you can see I can go back and forward because it's a manual transition. And again, if I go back to virtual set 1, you can see from the top this time going down, it still works perfectly. No need to change it back. It knows its own position. And again, if I just do it on 3, you can see moving up the manual bar, it does the same. Okay, So take is the simple as cut in the expression. Some people in the industry say cut or take. We use the terminology take. Take camera 1, take camera 2, take camera 3, whatever is going to be taking from preview to program. This is a timer and how long it takes. So obviously I put this up at crazy, something like 8 seconds. You can see it's going to take much longer for the transition to take place. So it's just basically a timer and how long the transition will take to take. 0 basically is the same as take. It means it's instant. Normally 3. It really depends on what you're trying to achieve in your transitions. There are 32 transitions in total. We've got all sorts of transitions here: circle, reveal, search, crumble, dissolve. Yeah, dissolve's a nice one actually. I kind of like that one. There's quite a few on this, but again, there is a tutorial video, and there will be full tutorial video on how to use the switcher, and I will go into this in full detail for you. Okay, then we have the effects, which is basically for allowing effects on your program out. And again, there's a few in that. You've got frosty, you've got invert, you've monochrome, which is probably the most used. You even got split screens, by the way, in this. You've got granite pencil there, tile split, which is like half and half screen. You've got quad split, you've got 6 split, which is like 6, and then there's an 8 and a 12. And here we've got the back color button, which is by default red, which allows you to basically change the default color. I'll leave it at red for now. And so that basically means over here on the preview, if I was to click back, it displays a back color, and it's red at present by default, and it would be the same in program. Okay, now before I move over here onto these buttons, I just want to talk about the keyboard commands. Keyboard commands are laid out here for you so you can clearly see them. You've got them for the preview keys up, which I'm going to speak about now, and you've got them for the program keys. So for example, here it's clearly written in the preview. It's cameras 1, 2, 3 and 4. Set 1, you're pressing key G will bring it. Well, set 1's on at present, so let's maybe do set 2, which is key H on your keyboard. If I press H, 2 goes to preview, and we said G with the other one. If I press G, and again you can switch the actual switches on it, so I can simply just click, as you may have noticed, 2 and 1 with the mouse. But again, it's completely keyboard commands available for this. As equally on the program out. Now I just want to explain about the program out. Let me put something up in preview. Program will allow you to override what's in the preview. This can be very useful. Sometimes somebody may put the wrong camera up to be switched, or the wrong footage in the preview. As the technical director, you may look, and just about when you're to make the switch or give the command to switch, you may realize this is the wrong footage. Well, in such cases, all is not lost. Within milliseconds, you can actually just override by clicking the override button. So I picked 3, for example, and again, what's in the preview does not come down this time because we've overridden by simply clicking on the program itself. Let's do that command for program just like we're doing with the keyboard. So set 1 in this case is V, so I click V on my keyboard, set 1 comes onto the program S. Okay, now again, there's a whole list of keyboard commands here, and you can go through them. So you can probably notice when I'm making switches here, red means preview and green rectangle means program, and again that matches up quite clearly here. So again, if you're a little bit unsure what's going on up here, just simply look for red on the left hand side and you see, okay, yeah, it's set 2 or camera 2 or camera 3 or whatever. Again, on the program, if you're a little bit confused what actually is being displayed, what do we actually send down last time? Was it camera 1, 2 or 3? Because in some studios it can sometimes look, all depending on the camera, it can look similar. So again, looking quite over here, you can see with the green it's set 1. And if we have both on preview and on the program S, here when we look up we can see half and half red and half green, which clearly means set 1 is in preview, which it is, and it's also in program S. Very handy feature that when you just need to really clarify something before making a switch. Now, let me talk about the videos. Okay. No, I'll start basically with the tabs of video inputs. Video inputs are for displaying what's on your cameras. It'll pick up webcams, your video capture cards, crossbar, Dexlink cards, DV, and here's just video adjustments like brightness, contrast, saturation, and hue. Over in the left hand corner we can switch between normal preview, video preview, and for Dexlink cards only we've got a Dexlink preview, and start buttons allow you to click start your video input, stop it, pause it, and resume it. Again, there will be a full demonstration video and tutorial videos on video inputs and cameras. Chroma keying. Okay, well, chroma keying allows us to chroma key between 3 different colors: red, green, and blue, the most popular use in the industry for cameras 1 to 4 and players 1 and 2. Okay, let's put Rhonda up. So she's up there on the preview, which is player 1. So if I go to player 1 here and I just simply click on, it goes straight into chroma key. She's got a little bit of transparent on her teeth and some of her hair is missing, and we just simply just apply a small bit of gain there, and we bring it into completely chroma key. Green is gone, which is very good and not very difficult to do. Okay, so we go on to the next button, which is sets. Okay, again, I don't want to fall into tutorial on virtual sets because there will be a full tutorial on virtual sets, how to create them and what to do with them, but I'll give a small intake on it. So for example, there's 3 sets. When you open up Finncast for the first time, it's going to be black screens because you haven't actually created a set. Creating virtual sets is incredibly easy. You would just left double click on the set itself, it will open up a screen. You select a background image for your virtual set because it is just an image. In this case, it's not just a virtual set image. This particular one happens to be a virtual set image with transparent. The monitor is transparent in these windows and this little monitor. And again, I'd just like to say that this particular virtual set, and many more very like it if you're into transparent backgrounds, was from virtualsets.com, and thank you to them for supplying it to us. And we would highly recommend using their virtual sets because they're very good and they offer transparency, which isn't necessary for Finncast, because for example, if we were to apply a virtual monitor, we can actually fit it in and twist it. Again, I won't go into the full video on this, but we can actually just apply it in there, and if there's even a bit of an angle, we can go into full pan and tilt axis on it. So you can just see I'm bringing it up here really quickly, and if I right click, I can click on the trackball, and that allows me to do all this sort of movement, as you can see, and make things somewhat at angle. For example, if I go back to move and resize and I was to put it over here, it doesn't really look right. It's kind of coming at this angle here, which makes no sense at all. And if I go back to trackball, we can just put it right into the window and tug it around and giving it a nice correct 3D effect, as you can see. Yep. Okay, let's just leave it over there, even though it's a crazy place to have a monitor. Well, maybe not for now, because I'll bring in a second virtual screen. Sorry, these are virtual screens. I'm using the word monitor incorrectly there. I'll bring in virtual screen 2, and again I'll put this where I was going to. There's a reason for this, because I just want to actually show you something on this regarding this particular virtual set that does have transparency on it. Sorry. Okay, that's roughly there without spending time on it, and I'm just going to bring it up here, and I'll go to my virtual. I'm jumping a little bit ahead, I know, but I'll go to my virtual screens, which allows us, like a switcher built into a switcher. this allows me to put footage on the virtual screen. So for example, I can put player 1 on virtual screen 1, and I can put player 2, oh I beg your pardon, player 2, and player 2, do I have any footage on this? Ah, I do. Okay, so I'll just roll that footage and I'll bring the volume down so you can hear me. Okay, so if I'm demonstrating any other audio, I'll probably forget I put the volumes down, so don't think it's not working correctly. Okay, so I'm just going to go back up into this virtual set here because I want to show you something else. So you can see it's sitting on the monitor, and it was kind of a rough situation. And again, I could go back to virtual screens. I could make both of them video player 2, and these are all the different items that can be switched on virtual screens, your virtual sets, your images. I've got one here for Finncast is the image. Okay, so let me just pop up here. I want to show you what I mean about using these particular sort of sets. So if I actually go here and I bring the back image, which is the virtual set, down to the end, that's the last layer, and we can see how this now has gone behind the monitor, and you can see the frame of the monitor. That's why I purely intentionally created it last time. Okay, so you can see how that fits in, and these are the virtual sets, and you can see how this one has gone behind again. Also, it's outside the window, and again, if I move this back up, say here, well, maybe not that one, maybe I'll move this one here, and I'll move 2 in front of it, and again you can resize as normal. But anyway, again, I'm falling into doing a tutorial video on virtual sets, which I should not be doing. Okay, so swiftly moving on, back to the virtual sets. I need a bit of footage. You could get that footage again because it was kind of nice river stuff there. I'll just click roll on it. Okay, so on the virtual sets, these over here, I'm going to click on set 1, and this allows us to zoom in to a specific percentage. Let's say I'll do 60 for example, and how long it takes to zoom in, and it's also pan, so we'll say 10 seconds. So for example, I want to zoom in on this monitor over here. I click on the monitor and I click my plus key on my keyboard, and it starts to slow in within those 10 zoom in, I beg your pardon, within those 10 seconds. And my minus key or subtract key, if it's a numerical keyboard, will zoom it back out by just pressing it again within those 10 seconds. Good, huh? Now let's zoom in on this monitor. I know it's a little bit of overlapping there because I never resized it, but just ignore it for now. 60 might be too much, but anyway, I'm going to click on this monitor here, and I'm going to zoom in onto the center of it by clicking the plus key. Oh, nearly almost there. Oh yes, it went in. Okay, it looks like a whole new screen. Let's bring this video footage back. See the way it's gone red up here ending. Just on that, when we've got 2 colors. We've got white, 3 colors, I beg your pardon. We've got white on it, we've got orange, as you can see up here in the video players. So when it gets to orange, basically it's telling us that you've got 20 seconds remaining in your footage, and when it gets to red, it's telling you you've got 10 seconds remaining. Very useful for when you're coming to the end, so when you look up and see red, you know it's time to get something ready to switch. Okay, so I'll bring it back to white, and I'll click roll again on it. Okay, so this is the virtual set, believe it or not. So I'll go back here and I'll zoom back out on virtual set 1. And again, the zooming in and zooming out will be applicable to cameras also. And it allows you to have different angles of your virtual set, which are very achievable. And again, even if I click up onto the roof here, you can see it'll zoom right up into it. There you go. That's good drawing on the virtual set. Right, even up the roof, it looks very realistic there. Okay, now that we've done that, let me move on to, I'll just pause this footage, I'll bring it back to maybe here instead of be still for a while. Audio is very straightforward. You can select a file from your audio, you can play it, and it allows you to put in background music, background speech, background audio where it's needed. Graphics, we've got a logo which can be downstreamed on the screen in the downstream section. The downstream section will allow us to do a logo. Image 1, image 2, clock, cameras 1 to 4, video inputs 1 to 4, players 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's player 1, that's player 2, and then your virtual sets 1, 2, 3 and multi and black. Black means going to black. You probably hear the expression in the industry saying go to black, which is usually what you do at the end of your transmission, and you simply, this stops everything. When you click it, nothing else will be downstreamed, and no matter what we switch, even on program, it's not going to be shown. We're completely on black. Okay, now I'm just going to pause around there because she started to play automatically, which it should do when we take from a preview, and I'll just roll that back and I'll pause this one. Okay, so now I'll undo the black and we can see what was last done behind the black. So for those who are not familiar with downstreaming, downstreaming is basically something we put on top of the program out, and whatever's downstream, no matter what we switch, the downstream remains. So it's always above, and is usually used for logos, clocks, scrolling texts, and many other situations. And with Finncast, everything you see here can be downstreamed, and you've got a complete menu. It's not just downstreaming anywhere. You can reposition the size of the item. For example, if you're downstream camera 1, you can, how big it's going to be, where it's going to be on the screen. All that's completely available. Again, that will be in a tutorial video on position and resizing of downstreaming. And there are all the items that can be done on the clock. Can be also the background color can be changed on the foreground color. So it's not default. I mean, it is default red and white, but you don't need to keep that. Okay. So I'll just turn off a few of these things because they're a little distracting. So graphics I was speaking to you about. Here you just change your image 1 and your image 2. Images can be really anything. You could be talking about a pop star. It could be a graph. It could be a weather chart. The list is endless. Virtual screens, well, we've pretty much discussed them. We've an ident button, by the way, if you need to identify what the screens are. By clicking it there, you can see that's screen 2 and that's screen 1 if you've forgotten. And that can also be done in the virtual set itself. You have an ident button here also. Okay. Incidentally, let's just overlap them because of the size. It can be what is it, screen 1, so I need to click on screen 1 here. Not screen 2, I beg your pardon. Okay, there, that's better. Okay, now monitors. Realistically speaking, with Finncast, if you're using a 24-inch monitor upwards, the bigger the better. You really will not need external monitors for cameras and sets and players or whatever, because everything will be seen really easy on a big screen, and everything is in front of you that you need to see. However, some people like to build a nice studio. They like to maybe have their video players on separate monitors. They might like to have their virtual sets, their cameras, or it could be for staff on another floor in the building, away from the technical director. For example, the producer could be out in the studio and the switcher and technical director could be hidden behind another room or on another floor even, and the producer may want to see his or her own monitor of specific switching. in such cases, it's available. 5 additional monitors 2 to 6, because monitor 1 is using on the PC for Finncast Studio. And here is everything you can switch independently to an external monitor. Your 4 cameras, your 3 virtual sets, the box, the players 1, 2 images, backgrounds, multi-camera preview, which is this guy up here, and the program S. Lower thirds, again, I don't have any created. Right clicking allows you to create a new lower third. Very quick to make, very simple to make. No need for Adobe effects or spending a lot of time or spending money on resources to create lower thirds. Create them on the fly incredibly fast, and they can be switched, and you can have as many as you want, and they fill into a list here. And over here is a specific switcher for lower thirds, and you can even have auto take, which means not auto take, auto come off. So you can switch a lower third, and then you can click this button also and have a time on it. So basically you don't need to worry about taking it off screen. It'll come off automatically itself after 3 or 5 seconds, and that's just a countdown of it happening. Box, that's what we call it. Again, how it looks can be changed vastly with its background colors, background image, text, edit names. Let me put box up here on the screen. There we go. Like you can, I don't know, maybe call it Studio 1, and maybe call this one Studio 2 as an example. And you can see a change in there. Again, these are the items you can put. This is the left screen and this is the right screen. Really doesn't get any more simple than that. You could put set 1 up here as an example, and you could put maybe player 1 here, or player 2, or both. You can have both player 2 and player 2 if you like. So that's pretty much box and box. Great for interviews. Multicam basically means you will have all your cameras, if you use the quad version, as one image, or you can have the 3 cameras or split screen cameras 1 and 2. And the settings in this case is really all we have in here at the moment is to take a snapshot. So let me put up video footage 2, and I'll take that down and let it play, and you can see it automatically plays when we take it from the preview down. I can just take a snapshot, and I'll take a snapshot of whatever's being displayed on the program S. And snapshots in full HD 1920 by 1080. Okay, so audio, another section across on the right hand side. This section, I'm just going to pause that video. Audio is for players 1 and 2. It's like most audio, it's got your fade in, fade out, and it's got auto fade between the two, like most audio mixers. Again, tutorial video on this. Players 3 and 4 is the audio players that we saw previously, and the microphone really does nothing at this stage, is for photo use. And then you've got your master volume, and you've got your fade speed, and fade speed is in these fading in and out, and your level of what it fades to. So when you basically click volume in at the moment, because it's on level 1, it goes all the way to the top, and I'll just fade out the sound for player 1 as if it was playing. However, if I was to bring this down somewhat more, maybe to about halfway into the 5 mark, you'll see when I fade in the volume, it'll only go up to the 5 mark, which is all you may want it to, and fade out this way. So if I fade in again, you can see this button between them is one opposes the other. So player 1's volume would be up, for example, and players 2 is down. So when we click this, player 1 starts to fade out and player 2 volume starts to fade in. Again, I'll just take this out so no footage comes over, or no volume comes out as I speak. these are your audio inputs, and it picks up really pretty much any audio input. So you most likely will be using, if you want a system, you a couple of options there. Really, you can use Visual Forge what you hear source, and that means whatever sound comes out on your PC is what's going to be recorded. The same for live streaming. And here, this one is your record settings to change it in screen size, and then to change it in the format you want recording: AVI, Fly, MKV, and so forth, MOV, Windows Media Player, or an MPEG. Frame rate to match up with your resolution size, and threads got to do with the threads on your PC. Again, there'll be a full tutorial on recording and live streaming. And live streaming's got its own level of settings. Okay, so that was a quick rundown on what Finncast Studio and Solo does for you. And the only difference between the two is the number of inputs and the number of virtual sets. Having 3 virtual sets can be very handy, especially if you're broadcasting one presenter. We'll just take news as an example, doing the news, and then somebody else in another studio for weather and something else. But for a lot of people, they just broadcast for themselves live doing their program on YouTube, and Finncast Solo is more than sufficient, and it's incredibly cheap for $49 for what it can do. So full information is on our website, finncast.com, and I would strongly suggest to look at the tutorial videos there, and they will change from time to time. So the most recent version at present of Finncast Studio and Solo is version 4. Okay, so thank you for watching. Hope this video has been some helpful to make you more knowledgeable on what Finncast can do for you and your professional video broadcasting, live streaming, and editing. Thank you for watching. Bye now.